Jai Sri Krishna, and today let's do the Srimad Bhagavad. And we are reading chapter 7.10, Dharma of a Woman, and the Srimad Bhagavata discourses by Swami Tejomayanandji. So this is page 416, and here it tells us of the Dharma of a woman. So let me read. The dharma of a woman and her roles of an unmarried girl, a wife, etc., is now given. It is said that a wife's relation is not only to her husband, she has a specific relationship with each of his relatives as well. Her duty is to serve all. Now, here maybe the libbers might just kind of rebel and say, why? What about the husband? So maybe this is the dharma of a woman. In the case of the dharma of a man, that will come also. Because after a marriage, generally, of course, the girl bows to her in-laws, and even the groom bows to his in-laws. So Naradji said, the wife who looks upon her husband as Lord Narayan and serves him verily becomes like Mother Lakshmi and reaches the Lord. In the realm of Lord Hari, she revels as Mother Lakshmi. This is the description given herein. Now see, the thing is that I look at it as, see, in the olden days, since a woman's duty was more towards the household, and she would get married, that was a way of life that she would marry and serve her husband and serve the relatives. So I would like to talk here about the Pativrata Dharma. It is said in our scriptures that if a woman remains faithful to the husband and she gets immense powers. And that is mentioned in our scriptures. Now, the way I look at it, that this is a form of surrender. You surrender to the Lord, you surrender to a guru, or you surrender to the provider. Once I had asked a guru, and I said, here in the scriptures they say that God, that your pati is Parmeshwar. But then, and he answered me, he said, yes, he is a Parmeshwar because he provides her for the physical body. But if you require for your spiritual life, then you surely need a guru. So it is all very well described. And actually, when you surrender, that very surrendering gives you powers, whether it is to whatever or whoever you surrender. Because even in the old monasteries, obedience was considered a great virtue. So then maybe, I know a lot of you will not like what I'm saying, but if you think about it deeply, and I would say also the same for a man in today's world, he has to be faithful to the woman too. Otherwise it doesn't work. The reason being that now today both are providing. And I'm going to say something else that I read in the original Srimad Bhagavad that I read. And I was surprised to read that in the scriptures, it is said that the dharma changes even as society changes. So something that will maybe right for a certain time is not necessarily right for another time. This is what I have read. And I know I have made notes on it. I'm almost sure it was in the Srimad Bhagavad, but if it is not, it was definitely in another scripture that I read. So, when looked at it deeply and lived in a spiritual life with a spirit of obedience and surrender, it definitely gives you powers. And in my mind, I would say that even if a man decides to do the same, he would probably be powerful too. He would get his riddhi siddhis maybe, but I don't know. So Naraji said, the wife who looks upon her husband as Lord Narayan and serves him verily becomes like Mother Lakshmi. The other dharmas or stages of life are described in the next chapter. First, however, Naraji says something particularly beautiful on how one can attain Brahman. This is a powerful statement with great import. Naraji said the seeker who performs his duties with full faith reaches the formless. He reaches Brahma. If he regularly and consistently performs all the duties that arise over time, or all the duties prescribed in the scriptures, he eventually comes into a state where all duties get dropped. We may not readily believe such a statement. If so, then we can conduct an experiment. We can keep working non-stop day and night. At some in time, we will reach a point of exhaustion and fall asleep, isn't it? If we keep working without even a short rest, we will fall asleep while working. However, if we perform all our actions selflessly and dedicate them to God, we will go beyond sleep. We will reach the fully awakened or enlightened state of God consciousness. Just as fatigue leads us into sleep, a state of non-doing, so too the performance of selfless actions leads us into the state of the formless reality. These people who do not perform their duties may even try to practice meditation, but they will never achieve it. This must be clearly understood, and even if they are able to reach some semblance of a meditative state, it will be a mere inert state of silence in which there is no knowledge or awakening. Scriptural teachings are given very thoughtfully and with acute clarity, so one should adhere to them and act accordingly. Lord Krishna said, "He who always performs his duties with faith advances easily to the next step on the spiritual path." So this is the chapter for today. And next time we will be doing the Brahmacharya Ashram. And until then, you take care and God bless.